Hi, my name is Stephanie Comella, and I'm with PD Active, and we're here for a Neuro-Movement class, which incorporates all of our sensory, kind of proprioceptive skills, along with a nice, juicy floor movement that helps support mobility and skills moving around on the floor. We're going to start standing. So go ahead and bring yourself to your feet. And just find yourself grounded in your place here, doing a pre-class body scan to get a baseline awareness of where we are at this moment in time. That way we can compare after class to see if the interventions we did in class were effective for us, they did for us. Notice which foot you tend to favor. Do you have more weight through the right leg or the left leg? Do you favor the forefoot or the toes? Or do you have more weight in your heels? What's your general vibe and energy? Do you feel heavy? Do you feel light? Do you feel like you're floating? Do you feel bored? Are you excited to be here? What's the mindset today? Take a few breaths in and notice the quality of the breath as it enters your nose or your mouth. Is it inhibited in any way, or do you feel a clear path? Where does that air fill your body? Does it get stuck in your throat or between your ears? Does it travel to your chest or the side of your ribs, your back or your belly? Maybe it travels down into your pelvis. And maybe you even feel an inkling of breath exiting out through your feet. Widen out your feet so they're at least a hip width apart, and go ahead and start swaying from right to left. So fully weight shift your body into one leg and then the other. And just allow that weight to be received by and then the other foot. And then start to take that sway into a circular motion where we're bringing the hips around. We have a weight shift now that goes on the edges of the foot into the toes, over to the other foot and the toes, the edges of the foot and the heel. And try to track that journey of weight shifting all the way through the edges of your feet and the forefoot, the toes, the heels, the edges of the feet, and all of that. Working on a little bit of ankle accommodation, ankle mobility as it receives that weight. Switch the direction of your circles. Sweep the other way. Yep. Working on the edges, toes, pinkies, heels, big toes. One more time in that direction. Good. And then go ahead and sway right and left again, but let's bring those arms into play. Big, big sweeping arms. If you play golf or have played golf, maybe you bring a little bit of that golf movement in, or backhand from your tennis or pickleball game. Good. See if you can start pivoting through your hips a bit more so that there becomes this toe off. You know what? Let me show a little bit of what my toes are doing too. So you can see how when I go from side to side, I push through the toes. And I swing. Let your arms be really free and sort of just extensions of the torso movement. Good. Get those hips to rotate. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Good. Bring your feet underneath you and start bouncing. Bending your knees quickly, letting your body jiggle. Yeah. And if it feels right for you, you can start lifting your heels off the ground a bit more and moving that into more of a hop if that feels right. So any of those variations work for me. Good. Letting your arms swing, let your shoulders relax. Try to let all of that energy pass through your body as opposed to being stagnant in your tissues. Yes, good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and walk around your room and take a couple notes on how your gait feels. take 3 notes, 3 different notes on how your gait feels. That can be the sound of your gait, the length of your stride, articulation of your foot and ankle. Arm swing, is it present or non-existent? Do you look down or can you look up? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it shuffly? Is it clean? How big is your stride? So pick 3. I just gave you a bunch of points that you could start noticing, but maybe pick your top 3 and mark those down in your brain for us to come back to at the end of class. All right, bring it on down to your mat or your floor or your rug, wherever you're doing your floor-based practice today. Go ahead and come down to the ground. Good. And we're going to go all the way down onto our back. We start pretty much the same every class. I like to build from the ground up. We start on our backs and work kind of these primary motor development positions, back, sides, and front, tummy time, and then we build up these variables. If you get here before the rest of the team, go ahead and just let your knees roll right and left, loosening up your hips and your low back. You can have your arms out in a T. Nice. Just getting the body to start moving on the mat. Good. All right, it looks like we're all about there. Go ahead and slide your legs out long. So your feet are long and flexed. It's like you're showing the wall underneath you or below you, I guess, the bottoms of your feet. So pulling the tops of the feet towards your shins. Bring your arms up past your ears so that your hands are maybe floating above the ground or maybe even touching the ground with your knuckles. Your palms are up towards the ceiling. Big stretch between your heels and your hands. We're going to bring your hands up towards the ceiling and down towards your hips. The palms will press down into the floor. Slide your hands along the mat towards your heels as you curl your head and shoulders up into a little trunk curl, so a little ab crunch. We don't say crunch in Pilates, but I guess we're not in Pilates technically. And then release your shoulders back down, let your head drop down to the mat and bring the arms up past your ears. Big stretch back overhead. Nice job. Arms come up towards the ceiling. They arc down towards the floor. Slide the hands on the mat as you curl your head and shoulders up off the ground, getting a nice draw up from your abdominals. And then float the arms back up. Inhale, we'll repeat. When you inhale, go into a little bit of an arch, extend your back, reach through the system, and then chin draws in, curl yourself up into a nice draw. Good. And then release, release, release. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, curl up, reaching through the fingertips. Nice work. One more time, arms stretch overhead, get that openness in the heart, and then curl on up, abs draw in, looking at your toes. Hold right here, wiggle your toes, see your toes wiggle. Your eyes are looking at those feet. You say, oh, that's kind of interesting. One foot wiggles better than the other foot, and I'm going to try to get that foot to wiggle a bit better. And then release back down so we can rest our neck. Let's bring one leg into tabletop and grab behind your thigh. One leg into tabletop and grab behind your thigh. Good, you can keep your head rested. We're gonna flex your foot. So dorsiflex the foot, top of the foot towards your shin. Kick your heel towards the ceiling and see if you can keep that dorsiflexing going. Good. At the top here, point your foot and bend your knee back into tabletop. Flex the foot at the bottom, kick the heel up towards the ceiling. You'll still working top of foot to shin. Point the foot and then bend your knee back in tabletop. Very nice. Flex and kick, point and reach. Flex and kick, point and reach. As you're working through this, you may feel stretch in the back of the thigh and your hamstring muscle here. When the leg goes straight, work really hard to squeeze your kneecap. 2 more times. Press. Good. And last one, we're going to kick up and we're going to stay. Can we keep that leg up in space? Bring your hands down by your side. Keep that leg up where it is. Nice work. Let the leg draw down towards the mat just a little bit, and then pull it straight up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of core work here. Lower it down and then pull it up. Now paying attention here, you're only going to lower that leg as low as you can without letting your low back get too arched. Okay, I don't want your low back lifting off the ground. If you can't hold the weight of your leg, we're just going to do small movements, just working from the top range. 2 more. Yep, last one. Beautiful. Bend the knee and slide the foot out towards the other leg. Other leg, bring it up into tabletop. Grab behind your thigh. We're going to do that whole process here on this side. Dorsiflex the foot, top the foot towards your shin. Kick your heel up towards the ceiling. Big stretch through the back of your leg. Very nice. Point your foot and bend your knee to come into tabletop. Flex the foot and kick vertical. You got it. Point the foot and bend in. Flex the foot, kick vertical. Point the foot and bend in. Nicely done. As you're kicking up, again, you'll feel a stretch in the hamstring. Squeeze the quad or squeeze your kneecap so that you get a little extra stretch and some activation to hold that lengthening. 2 more. Yep. And last one, we're going to kick that leg up towards the ceiling, point the foot and hold. Yes, hands down by your side. Lower the leg down a little bit and then pull it back up towards the ceiling. Good. Using your core muscles to help pull that leg up. Again, if you feel your back overarching, limit the range of motion so that you can maintain that strong trunk, that lumbopelvic stability, that strong core connection. Good. I also like using that other leg, that right leg, to push down into the ground to help me bring my leg up. We got 2 more. Down and up. That's it. Nice job. Last one. Beautiful. Bend the knee in and let's grab a hold of that knee. Pull it in towards your chest. So I'm going to say we're all on the left knee, I think. So we're going to pass the left knee into your right hand and we're going to cross the leg over so we get a nice stretch. Continue looking left at your left hand. We're going to roll ourselves back to our back, pass the knee into your left hand, and open up through your inner thigh here. Try to keep your right hip flat on the ground so we're really stretching in the front part of the hip here. Cross the leg over to the right hand, pass it, twist through the spine, looking towards your left thumbnail, and then up and over, pass the leg into the left hand, opening up through your inner thighs. One more time there, pass the hand, knee into the right hand, cross the body, look over to the left. Bring it back center, stretch the inner thigh. Nicely done. Slide that leg out to where it came from. Bring the other leg in. Hug it in towards your chest nice and tight. Pass the knee into your hand. So because we're on the right knee, yeah? So the right knee is going to pass into the left hand. Cross the leg over the body so that you get a twist in the spine. Look to your right thumbnail that's on the ground. Pass the knee over into your right hand. Open up through the inner thigh. Nice. Pass the knee over into the left hand. Rotate open. And look at your thumbnail. Pass the knee over into your right hand and out to the side. Nice job. We got 1 more of each of those. Cross body rotation. Feel the opposition with your eye gaze. Switch to the other side. And open out. Very nice. Bring that knee in and slide the leg back out. We're going to take the arms up past your ears. Slide your legs over to the left as far as they will go so that you come into this crescent shape or a banana shape. You're going to be stretching through the whole right side of your body. Now you're going to keep walking those heels over to the left until you feel your right hip lifting off the ground. Okay, if you feel the right hip lifting off the ground, you've gone just a little bit too far. I want you to stay flat on the mat. Okay, you're a 2-dimensional object right now. Roll over to the, walk your heels over to the other side towards the right. So now you're short on the right side and long on the left side, keeping your left hip down on the ground. Okay, if you feel your left hip lifting, you've gone just a little too far. Let's do that again. Over to the left. Walk the heels over to the left. Your shoulders are just going to slide on your mat a little bit to the left. You're trying to keep your right hip and your right shoulders down on the ground. And one more time, crescent over to the other side, walk your heels and slide your shoulders to the right. Again, left side's longer, right side short. Good. And then bring it in. Separate your feet about mat width apart and bring your arms out in a T or a Y, maybe like a high T. It's called X roll. So your body is essentially made an X. We're going to bring the right hand down to your right hip. This is like Twister, huh? Right hand on red. Right hand to right hip. Slide your hand down your thigh. Lift your head and shoulders off the mat so that you can look between your toes. We're going to take your right hand over to your left thigh now. You should be able to reach past your hip. And then reaching forward and beyond, you're going to roll all the way over onto your left side completely. Your right leg is sort of trailing behind you. Okay. We've done this X roll many a times. Let your hip roll back first. Let your body slink down. Your shoulders will come down and then your hand will come out to the side. Let's do the same side again. Right arm comes to the right hip. Slide your hand down your thigh and look between your toes. Dorsiflex your feet. Make sure your feet are active. Your right hand's going to cross to the left thigh. Slide it across the body and forward as if you wanted to grab or touch the wall that's in that direction. You're going to be rolling fully onto your left hip, but the right leg is sort of dragged behind you. Release the hip back down and nice and slow, slinky across. Okay, so I don't necessarily want you to use your legs to help you roll over. I want to see if you can get your rollover, you're turning onto your side without too much leg contribution. It's like kind of opposite of what I usually say. It's like, don't use your whole body. Let's see what happens when you just use half your body. We're going to go across the hand to thigh, curl the head and shoulders up, thigh, and then reach through. Good. Nice work. And then return nice and slow. Let's do the other side. Left hand to left thigh. Curl your head and shoulders off the mat. Look between your toes. Flex your feet so you're active through the end of the line. Hand comes across to the opposite thigh. Sweep across and reach. Your left leg is trailing behind, but your body has fully rotated onto your right hip. Slide the hips back flat. And then the mid back comes to the mat. And then your shoulders come to the mat. And then the arm kind of swings back to where it came from. Again, left hand to left thigh. Curl yourself up into that trunk curl that we practiced earlier. Dorsiflex the feet. Reach across to the opposite thigh and then across the body, reaching towards something on the other side of the room. On the way back, hip comes back to the mat first. Roll the spine back to the mat and release your shoulders and release your arm. Let's do that one more time, that X roll. It's so slinky, it feels good. Hand to thigh, curl yourself up. Across and across, reach through. Roll all the way onto that right hip. Hip comes flat. Slink through, release the spine, and return home. Nice job. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Use the back of your thighs and some pressure of your thighs into your hand to help curl your head and shoulders off the ground. And go ahead and release back down. So the more you can stabilize with the legs, the more you can use them to help pull yourself up off the mat. You can use them, pull yourself up off the mat. And then return. The trunk curls again. Good. You can use your legs a little bit more if you want to get some momentum. Kick the legs out a little bit and pull yourself up into a seated position. And then roll yourself down. So whatever version you're at today, if you're just in the halfway, perfect. Work on that. Otherwise, maybe you come all the way up and then roll back down. Go ahead and work on whatever version you're at right now for a few more seconds. Good. Practicing on rolling up. Use your legs to help your upper back come off the ground. You can kind of kick your legs out and then that should help you. Well, one more time and we'll finish in a seated position. Finish in a seated position. Nicely done. Let's go into that side sit position. I'm just moving position so I can stay facing the camera, but you can just let your knees drop to one side. And we did this last week. So we have one hand posted out and both knees sort of staggered off to the side, right? If you're with me, let's have the legs off to the left. If you want to stay with me on the left-right situation, let's go legs to the left. And then your right hand is on the ground. The sun is peeking over the house. All right, we're going left arm's going to come up and over. Big stretch. Option to bring your right elbow down to the ground. Then we're going to push through that oh my gosh, the lefts and rights. Push through your right hand to straighten out that bottom elbow and then bring your hand down. If you have it in your body, let's grab that shin and bring your right arm up and over for the counter stretch to the other side. Okay, you do you. One hand down. We come up and over, elbow comes down to the mat if that feels right for you. Good. Push off the ground. Use your core here to help you come up. Grab onto the other side and counter stretch. Some version of this, some portion of this, or all of this, whatever feels right for you. We're going to do a couple more and start moving at your own pace. Some of you I know like to move a little bit faster than I do, which is okay. I'm kind of try to go like at a medium speed. Nice. Just working on that transition. That's it. Good. Can you push up onto your hand so you're off your elbow at least? That's it. One more time, come down and hold. You're going to come onto your right hand and we'll take the left hand on the mat as well. So you're in this twisty position now. Good. Draw your abs in. You may feel your obliques working for you here. Here's your first set of push-ups. We're going to bend the elbows so that we come down towards the mat and then exhale, push away. Good. Try to keep the elbows tucked into the body and your eyes forward. Okay. Don't let your head droop down. If your head gets droopy, the whole body gets droopy. All right. We're going to go for 10 total. And I'm going to say that was about 3, 4. And again, I'm going to go medium speed. 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. 9, and one more for me, but you do you. Try to get your 10 reps in. Don't shortchange yourself. Yeah? Okay. We're going to bring this hand behind us, roll into a crab position. Crab. So we have our knees bent and our hands behind us. Good. Go ahead and tap your feet while we're waiting for the rest of the team to transition, bringing some attention to the bottoms of your feet. Very nice. Roll the collarbones wide and open and expand through your chest. Bring your eyes up towards the ceiling. Now see if you can also pivot your tailbone a little bit, pivot your pelvis so that your tail's sticking out behind you and you sort of rolled your pubic bone between your thighs. So notice the difference. If I was sort of saggy in my pelvis, this is a posterior pelvic tilt. This is an anterior pelvic tilt where I've sort of propped my pelvis forward. Okay, so hopefully you can see and feel the difference there. Let's do that a few times. Go ahead and go into a posterior pelvic tilt where your spine is rounded and maybe your shoulders have slumped a little bit. Push through the heel of your hand. Feel the extension come into an anterior pelvic tilt. Eyes open or eyes lifted and shoulders open. A couple more times. Round. You can drop your eyes towards your belly button as you round, closing off your front side and then lifting to expose the front side. One more time. Flexion, round down, extension, round up. Nicely done. We're going to swing our legs off to the side again. So now we're in a side sit with our legs right. We're now in a side sit with the legs right. That means your left hand is on the ground posting. And we're going to do that side bend series here. Reach that other arm up overhead, big side bend stretch. And if you would like to, bring that elbow down to the ground. Okay. From here, make sure you're pushing through your hands so that you come off of your elbow. I want you lifting off the ground. Cartwheel over, add on the counter stretch if that makes sense for your body today. Good. And again, go ahead and work through that. Inhale into the side ribs. Maybe lower down to get a little bit different side stretch. Push off, lift the elbow up and over, counter stretch to the other side. Good. Couple more here. Inhale. Big side stretch. push the ground away, lift up and over, inhale. Good. Let's go 3 more. And again, if you want to work at a faster pace than me, go for it. Again, I'm going to go medium speed. I'm just going to try to go halfway. Last one. Inhale. Good. And up and over. All right, we're going to bring your, your left hand down and your right hand down. So you're sort of in this twisted push-up. And we're going to go for 10 push-ups here at your own pace, okay? Keep that spine nice and straight. Your eyes are lifted so that your body doesn't get droopy. If you drop your head, your body will get droopy. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice job. 9, and last one. 10. Perfect. We're going to spiral out of that and come back into your crab. Once you finish your 10, don't shortchange yourself. Everyone's going to be at a different pace. Good. All right, so you can do exactly what you did on the last time we were here in this crab position, which was just that flexion extension here, very simple. Or you can add a hip lift to it. So we would go flexion just the same, round through your spine, let your tail tucked underneath you. Then coming into extension, and you would go past this point that we hit last time and float your hips up towards the ceiling, okay? Then we would come down with the hips, come into that flexion, round through, and then find your extension, and then go right into that next phase, that next level of the hip lift, okay? So whichever challenge you're looking for today, again, you can just do the level 1 option, which is just flexion extension. Add on the hips if that's right for you. Hips down, flex down. Shoulders open and press. Good. It's a great opportunity to stretch your chest muscles right here, because with those arms back behind you, it's like, oh my gosh, those biceps. Whew. Let's go 3 more of whatever version you're going with. 1, 2, very nice. And 3. Nice job. Good work. We're going to fold the legs in together. So you're going to be in a cross-legged position here. Grab onto your knees. And again, kind of like what you did for the rolling like a ball, the knees are going to help you sit your body upright. Okay? So we're just sitting in a position where we're cross-legged and nice and tall. If this doesn't feel right for you, remember, if your hips feel tight and this like kind of a sticky situation, you can bump your bum up on a pad and it'll give your pelvis a little bit more support there. Okay. All right. So right now, notice which leg you have in front. Okay. We don't have to all be on the same page. Just notice which leg you have in front. We're going to place the hands behind us, open up the feet, and then recross them in the way that's different. So the different leg is in front, the other leg is in front. And then bring your body forward onto your knees. Okay. Shift back, uncross, recross, back to the original side. Okay. And I just want you to work on that transition between uncrossing and recrossing. And there's a couple ways that we can do this. Maybe doing this with one hand only for support, or maybe even no hands as you work through, which takes a bit more core. Okay, so pick your poison, whichever version. We're just practicing this uncross, recross, and then sitting back forward. Let's go for about 10 more seconds of whatever version. And I like the time effort because everyone works at a different pace, right? Good. Let's finish with that right leg in front. Right leg in front. So finish there with that right leg in front. That way we're all on the same page. Okay, we worked a little bit on this last week. We're going to slide the knees together. If you need to put your hands behind, go ahead and do that. And then release. Slide the knees together and flatten out your feet, and then release. Good. If you need to put your hands back, put your hands back. Otherwise, this week I'm going to introduce, you're just going to keep the hands on the knees. Flatten and down. Good. So getting your inner thighs to connect is the deep core connection. Inner thighs is a backdoor entry to your abs. One more time. Good. Switch to the other side. Perfect. Same exact thing. Hands behind you or not. Squeeze and then cross leg. Squeeze and then cross leg. Make sure you get a good connection with your toes on the ground because you're going to use those to pivot through. Remember last time when we turned into our down dog. This goes into a down dog. Pivot. Yes, nice. Pivot. Good. One more time. Pivot. Beautiful. Nice job. We'll come back to this. Don't forget it. All right, we're going to roll. We're going to transition into a hands and knees position. Couple options. You can roll over the top of your shins, or you can roll behind you and come into hands and knees. Okay, so you can choose which way you want to transition. Some may be more available than the others. Good. And then once you're in your hands and knees position, we'll do that slinky cat cow that you know I love because it's juicy. All righty. So we have our shoulders stacked over our wrists. Fingers are nice and wide. The webbing of your fingers is nice and wide. Your toes can be untucked and your knees are underneath your hips. Start by drawing the tail underneath you, kind of like dropping the tail in between your knees. And then round through the rest of your spine, looking in between your knees as well. Push the ground away so that your shoulders roll to the outsides of your rib cage. The reverse of that, we're going to let the tail come into extension. So lifting through your tail, let that roll through your spine. Let your heart drop towards the mat, your collarbones wide, and your eyes come up. Tuck the tail, start at the base of your spine. Roll through, let that wave, let the head drop, your eyes come between your thighs. You're pushing the ground away so the shoulders come on the outsides of your rib cage. Release the tail and wave through the spine. Let your eyes come up. How slinky can you make your spine? Does it divide into 2 sections? Can you divide that spine into 3 sections, 4 sections, 5 sections, 6 sections? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My default is about 5 sections. Kudos if you have more than 5. You have 23 vertebrae, so technically there should be 23 sections. Yikes. And releasing out. Let's go one more time here. Tuck and peel. Push the ground away. Nicely done. Good. Hold your flexion. Sit the hips back just a little bit. Enough that you off-weight your hands. From here, reach your right arm up past your ear. It's like your thumb's going towards the ceiling. It's past your ear. Bring the hand back down. You're still rounded in your spine. Left arm's going to reach up past your ear. Return it back down. Shift back forward into your hands and bring your eyes up. Pull yourself into extension, lifted tail. Okay. Round through the spine, slinky cat. Shift back slightly. Right arm reaches out. Bring it back down. Left arm reaches out. Bring it back down. Shift forward, come into extension, heart drops, tail lifts, eyes come up. Got it? Tuck the tail, wave into that flexion, push the ground away, shift back, right arm reach, left arm reach, shift back forward, and extension, eyes up. One more time, please, shift back, round through, right arm reach, work the mobility of your shoulders, left arm reach. I could tell that left arm on me is a little bit tighter. Shift forward and release. Nice job. We're going to shift back one more time. Tuck the tail. Start to get light off of your hands. Trickle the arms like you want to. Crawl them forward as they float off the ground. They're both going to come up past your ears now. Both past your ears. Good, but your heart is still horizontal to the floor. Bring the hands back down and shift forward. Quickly. Shift back, round the spine. Both arms float and trickle up past your ears. Try to get your biceps to frame your head. That's it, Adam. Nice job. Bring the hands down, shift forward. Shift back, round. Feel the support of your abdominals, creating a lift in your spine so that you can hover and levitate off the ground with ease. Shift back one more time. We're going to go arms hover. They should be framing your ears. Keep the arms framing your ears, but start to pull your body into an upright position so that you're in that tall kneel position where you're upright here. And I realized my head got cut off. No big deal. You know what I look like. Arms out in front. Arms out in front. Let's go backstroke. Left arm stretches up and around. Look behind you. See how far behind you you can see. What object can you see in this position? And then sweep the arm forward. Reach your right arm up and over. Look behind you. Can you see that same object that you saw on the other side? Or maybe you see beyond that object. And then bring it back forward. Go ahead and work through that right and left side backstroke in your kneeling position. Yep. Again, if you need knee pads, do it. I'm not going to tell you every time. Do what you need to do to support the body. Cushion up, pillows. That's it. Nice work. Can you get a little further every time? What if you tried a different strategy to get the rotation? What if you weight shifted into the left hip and let your left hip rotate back as you look to the left? So like really give into that left side. Does that take you a little further? What about right arm reaches out? Give into that right hip, let your right hip twist open. One more time on each side. Maybe it's a little more fluid. Good. And release. Nicely done. Go ahead and come down to the mat again and take a seat in that cross-legged position. Let's go left leg in front. Left leg in front. Where are we at time-wise? Perfect. Okay. These poor goats. Can you hear them or no? They're getting real loud. Maybe if my microphone's doing a good job, maybe you can't hear them. All right. So we're going to go. Hands are going to twist to your, okay. So if you have your left leg in front, your hands are going to twist to the left. I'm sorry. I messed that up. The goats are distracting me. Left leg is in front. We're going to twist to the right, right? Because it would be this way. Yes, thank you. So we're going to twist to the right. Now, as you come over onto this right side, you're going to come onto this left toe, the ball of your foot on the toe, and this pinky down the right side. Give yourself one weird twisted push-up here, and then bring it on back. And tuck everything back in. Okay, let's try that again. Left leg in front, so we're going to go right. Hands come down. You'll sort of roll onto that right. Your right knee is hooked. One weird push-up. Down, up, and then reset. Okay, one more time on that side. I know it's a little weird. It'll build, trust me. So we're going to go over to the side. You dig out so it has a bit more purchase of the ground. Make sure that the toe is down. Weird push-up, and come on up. Good. Hands behind your back. Switch the legs. Okay. Right leg is in front. We're going to go left. Twist. Let that foot drop down. Again, be on the ball of that right foot and the pinky toe of your left. Weird twisty push-up. And then reset. Tuck the leg in. Again. Twist over to this side. You got the foot on there. Weird twisty push-up. And then come reset. We have one more of those, please. Twist off to the side. Plant the toe. Pinky is hooked. Push down, up. And then reset. Nicely done. Transition into your hands and knees again. You're either going to roll over the front of your shins or do a rotation behind. I'm going to go over the shins this time because I did the other version last time. You just come over the shins and then you uncross the legs. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to start working into your plank. So make sure that your hands are really, really wide and your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your right foot's going to plank back and tuck that toe so it's really working. Squeeze your quad, just like we did at the beginning of class, and then bring that knee back in. Let's do the other side. Slide the foot back, make sure your foot is planted, and squeeze your quad so you're energized through the leg. Bring it back in. Let's alternate between those two. Right, left, right, left. Push. Good. Now, do you remember when we were in hands and knees last time and I had you hover your hands off the ground? We were like levitating. You should sort of get that same sensation in your core here when you're doing your plank. I want you to feel like you're levitating off of the ground. So drawing those abs in and creating that hollowing effect. Let's go one more time with the left foot out. Now, if you're feeling ready for it, we're going to also bring the right foot back. If you do not feel ready for it, no big deal. You can continue doing the alternating leg reaches. Here we go. Right leg back. 1, 2, 3, go. Full plank. Nicely done. Hold here. Hold here. Couple more breaths. Cool, calm, and collected. We're going to bring the right knee down and then the left knee down. Nice job. Shift back so that you can take some weight off your wrists. If you want to take your elbows down and roll out your wrists, go ahead and do that. All right, bring it on back out. We're going to do it again. Strong through the shoulders, push the ground away. Let's go. Left leg out, or right leg out first. We'll start with the right leg straight. Plant those 3 limbs that are all on the ground. We're going to levitate and float the other leg back. Hold. Push the ground away. Abs are in. We're going 4, 3, 2, 1. Left knee comes down. Right knee comes down. Shift back into child's pose. If you need a little break off the wrist, roll out your wrists. Okay. Here we go. We're going to do 2 more sets. Shift back forward into your hands and knees. Push the ground away. We're going to go left leg out first. Stabilize through those 3 points. We're going to hover the right knee and slip it back. Feel your breath. Feel the length through the crown of your head. Push the ground away. We got 4, 3, 2, 1. Left knee comes down. Right knee comes down. Shift back. Roll out your wrists. I think I saw a few of you doing this on your wrists. If your wrists are, on your elbows. If your wrists are bothering you, for sure, you can do this on your elbows too. But try to train those wrist joints. If you don't have anything like serious going on in those wrists, try to train the resiliency there. Alrighty, last one. Wide fingers, push the ground away. Right leg comes back first, stabilize between the 3 points. 1, 2, 3, exhale, hover, lift back, hold. Push the ground away, abs are in, draw the tail underneath you. Hold for 3, 2, 1, bring it in. Right knee first, and then left leg. Nice job. Sit back, child's pose, elbows down, roll out your wrists. Nicely done. All right, we're gonna come back into your seated position. Come back into that seated position. Cross-legged. You have, what is this? My rights and lefts today, I'm telling you. We got the left leg in front, because I'm opposite you, right? So I have to like turn my brain. So we got, sorry, the left leg in front, which means right. Hopefully we can remember that muscle memory. Twisting to the right, roll that hip, and make purchase with your left toe. It hooks into the ground. From here, we're gonna float the hips up and push your booty up towards the ceiling. Excuse my butt as I come up. We're gonna push through and come up. So now you're in this A-frame. We've pivoted into an A-frame. Very nice. We're gonna bend those knees and wind back to where we came from. The right hip places down on the ground, and then we can come and reset in your cross-legged position. Okay? Pushing through those shoulders, yeah? Here we go. Same side. We're going right. Left toe, you're going to pivot on that toe, and the pinky toe of the right side, push down into your hands, booty up towards the ceiling. You're going to pivot through your feet. You should sort of be turned around at this point. Let yourself spiral. The right hip comes down, and then reset into your cross-legged position. Okay, 2 more, yeah? Over. To push up, A-frame. Yep. Turn your world upside down. Great vestibular challenge. Down and then reset. Last one. Roll. Pivot to those feet. Pause. Look at your world upside down. Your bookshelf's upside down. Your artwork's upside down. The trees are upside down. The hammock is upside down. Twist back down and reset. Nice. Okay. No hands or with hands. Switch sides. You have right leg in front. We're going to go left. Here. Drop through the pinky toe. Push your booty up towards the ceiling. You may be in a little staggered stance. That's fine. Try to straighten out those legs. Look underneath you. Look behind you. Vestibular challenge at its max. Bend the knees. Spiral your left hip down to the mat and then reset. Nice. You got 3 more. Here we go. Spiral. Push. Float the hips. Stretch through those legs. That hamstring is tight. Pivot back down and reset. Nice work. Oh, spiral over. Push through those legs, lift up. Good. Spiral the hips down, reset, and rotate. I think the hardest part is coordinating, not getting. Okay, here we go. Last one. Push. Pivot through those feet, lift up. Spiral the knees down and come through. 2 sides. You may have felt one side.
Stephanie, your microphone is breaking up.
How's that?
Better.
Okay, we're just going to do it through the computer. Okay, thank you. I told you we were trialing the microphone again today. All right, so we're going to come back into, so between those two sides, you probably felt one side more challenging than the other, okay? We're going to pick the side that was harder. If you didn't feel a difference, just pick a side and we'll go with it. We're going to go into that A-frame and then walk your feet in to come into a standing position. Now, this is going to require a little bit of balance. So if you know yourself to be a backwards shuffler or a backwards faller, please be careful and be mindful, okay? All right, I'm going to pick this way because it was harder. If you want to watch one and then do it with me, go for it. So I'm going to pivot, turn. We come into the A-frame. From here, we walk the feet in. And then we do that same hollowing exercise that we did before, where the hands get light and we levitate. Arms frame the head and pull yourself all the way up into a standing position. Keep your weight forward on the toes. Again, if you're a backwards shuffler or backwards follower, keep the weight forward on your toes so that if you fall, you can just bring your hands down forward. Yeah? Okay, let's reset for those of us that just watched the demo. Here we go. Pick a side that makes sense for you. I'm going to go this way. We're going to go pivot through the feet, A-frame, booty up in the air. Good. Walk your feet to your hands and then levitate the hands by pulling your abs in. Reach the arms past your ears as you come up into that high standing position. Take a moment at the top, especially if you get a little bit orthostatic blood pressure stuff. Come down the same way. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat. Take your foot behind you a little bit so that we're in that staggered stance, and then we're going to bend and sit back into cross-legged. Okay, one more time. Rotate, pivot, booty up. Notice your feet are a little staggered, no big deal. Bring that back foot forward. Draw your abs in, levitate the hands, keep your weight in your toes, and bring yourself all the way up to a stand position. Take your time, let yourself acclimate to this elevation. Good. All right, bring yourself back to the center of the mat. And we're gonna finish how we started with a little body scan and a gait assessment. Look at this hair, crazy. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. Notice the weight distribution in your feet. Do you bias the right side, the left side, the forefoot, the heel? Are you visiting all of those quadrants all of the time? Maybe you feel a little bit more postural sway than you did at the beginning. Postural sway is a good thing. That sort of sway, that distribution of forces from right to left, forward to back. Notice the quality of breath. How does it enter? Is there resistance on its entry? Where does it fill in your body? Start to sway yourself if you haven't already. Sort of a natural response from right to left. Take 2 deep breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth. Audibly. Good. Let's do a little gait assessment for yourself. Walk around the room and see how your gait feels. Do you remember those 3 points that we took note of at the beginning of class? Stride length. What does it sound like? The foot articulation. The speed. The arm swing. The hip rotation. Do you need to look down or can you look up? What do you notice? Did any of those 3 points improve? Hopefully at least one. And then bring it back to the center. Nicely done. I'm going to turn off the recording and open up the floor if anyone has anything they want to share.